Meanwhile, in Ukraine, the fighting has intensified. Russia has launched a massive air attack. Air raid sirens blared for over 7 hours across Ukraine. At least 6 people were killed. Power infrastructure was damaged. Military infrastructure and supply lines were hit. But the takeaway is this. Russia used its hypersonic Kinzhal missiles against Ukraine on Thursday. And that's not something it does very often. Russia struck Ukraine with a vengeance. And there's a reason behind this. Last week, Russia's Bryansk region was in the news. Russia says that there was a terror attack in this region, and it blames Ukraine for this. It said a group of Ukrainian saboteurs entered the border region. It took civilians hostage, shot at a man in a car, and wounded a child. President Vladimir Putin called it a terrorist attack. He said, and I quote, "They will not achieve anything. We will crush them." And the crushing came on Thursday when all of Ukraine was sleeping. Sirens blared as Russia bombarded Ukraine by firing close to 80 missiles and armed drones. 80 missiles. Ukrainian President Zelensky said Russia's strikes hit infrastructure in 10 regions.
I have held several meetings today about the consequences of the massive strike on our infrastructure. Another attempt by a terrorist state to wage war against civilized society has resulted in temporary blackouts of electricity, heat and water in some of our regions and cities. Russian missiles took the lives of 6 Ukrainians today. My condolences to the families.
Russia fired 6 Kinzhal missiles at Ukraine on Thursday. All these missiles hit their intended targets. Do you know why? Because Ukraine does not have the ability to shoot these missiles down. The Kinzhal missile is a beast, and it's among Russia's most lethal weapons. It travels at more than 5 times the speed of sound at over 12,000 kilometers per hour. It is highly maneuverable, making detection and neutralization almost impossible. Not just Ukraine, even its allies in the West may not be able to take these missiles down. And that's something Putin regularly talks about. He says the West has, quote-unquote, no answer to Russia's Kinzhal missiles. Ukraine says it shot down about 34 Russian missiles, other missiles, 34 of them, which means that at least 46 missiles still hit their targets. And that's a lot of missiles. Thursday's air raid is being hailed as a success by the Kremlin, also as retribution for the attack in Bryansk. Listen to the spokesperson of the Russian Defense Ministry.
In response to the terrorist actions organized by the Kiev regime in the Bryansk region on March 2nd, the Russian armed forces delivered a massive retaliation strike. High-precision, long-range air, sea and land-based weapons, including the Kinzhal hypersonic missile system, hit key elements of Ukraine's military infrastructure, military-industrial complex enterprises, as well as energy facilities that supply them. The target has been reached. All assigned objects were hit.
For the people of Ukraine, this is a nightmare on loop. I have a quote from a woman who was with her child when the missile struck. She said, and I'm quoting, "It's very frightening, very frightening. The child got scared and jumped out of bed. They're not humans. I don't know what to call them." The fact is, both Russia and Ukraine fire weapons and barbs at each other, and it's always the people who suffer. In Bakhmut, an intense battle is still on. Bakhmut is a critical town, it's a crucial town, and Russia wants its troops to control it by all means. Zelensky says the fall of Bakhmut would pave an open road for Russian forces to enter Ukraine. Remember, the West had earlier painted Bakhmut as an insignificant town with no strategic value. They almost laughed at Putin for trying so hard to win it. But then the story changed. Ukraine sent its best troops to hold on to Bakhmut. It has seen weeks of fighting. Now Russia is very close to capturing it. Ukrainian forces have begun withdrawing from defensive positions. They held on for as long as they could, but by late February, it became quite clear that staying on would invite certain death. The weeks ahead could see more such battles. As the winter recedes, fighting across the front line is expected to pick up pace. And while Russia can strike Ukraine with its missiles whenever it chooses to, Kiev cannot do the same.